Go hard, we don't take no shit. TMB, we'll take your bitch. You know where? You know we about our money. You know we don't turn down nothing. You know where?
And let's look at their replacements. I think the replacements were a lot more exciting, a lot more hopeful, and we might find some gems out of the replacements as well. I learned a little bit about some of them that I didn't know before, and I don't know. These replacements kind of look a little more fresher to me. I mean, like you said, other than Lincoln Riley and maybe Brian Kelly, but and maybe Napier, but these guys look good too. So you got Brent Venables, 51 years old, first year overall record. He ain't did nothing yet. And he comes in for Lincoln Riley at Oklahoma. As a player, Kansas State linebacker 1991 and 1992. As a coach, immediately in 1993, he started coaching positions including general assistant, player coach at linebacker, defensive coordinator, assistant head coach, and head coach for schools such as Kansas State, Oklahoma, and Clemson. His accolade was the Broyles Award in 2018. Venables has been floating with the head coach job since 2012 when he decided to remain at Clemson, where he ended up being the highest paid assistant, making $1.7 million as an assistant at Clemson. His contract is a 6-year deal, $7 million a year, $100,000 annual increase, $600,000 annual retirement contribution. So maybe he's deciding to stay a long way right here. I mean, the guy's only 51. If you're trying to be here for the next 10 years or something, but he's committed 100%, and the guys like him. So what you feel about Venables right here stepping into Oklahoma?
He's the guy that everybody been trying to lure from Clemson for the last couple of years, and that's why they paid him all that money. One of the I think second highest paid contract for an assistant in the league, and we're gonna see if that's true. Clemson did, defensively they were in his tenure, they were good. I don't know if that's a result of more of talent or scheme, because I'm like, they were the big dogs of the ACC. It's not like they had to go up against a gauntlet to get where they had to get to. We're talking about Louisville and North Carolina and Miami. We just talked about the U. So it's not like, in the years they played the Alabamas in the national championship, they had the fucking best quarterback on the field, both Watson and California, pretty hair. I can't think of his name. I call him Sunshine from Alabama because that's
I like calling him Sunshine too.
Yeah. I call him Sunshine.
I can't think of anything. I know you talk about though. Exactly. Trevor. Damn.
Fuck. Man, we know who I'm talking about though. Goddamn it. Sunshine. Shit. Sunshine.
Yeah, Sunshine. Yeah, just like in the movie.
Sunshine. Yeah, I call it Sunshine for remember the Titans. But yeah, him. So but I mean, I guess I like the hire. It's not a bad hire, but I kind of don't know. It's kind of one of those things I don't know what he's gonna do. And then when you couple that on, he better win now. I know that much. Because when you couple that in with them moving to the SEC, bro, it's only gonna get harder. It's not about to get easier. So I know they hit the transfer portal. I know you're gonna go over that when we're done talking about it. They hit the transfer portal hard, and then it was something they kind of had to do because Lincoln Riley kind of took the quarterback and he took a couple other top receivers, so it's something they had to do. We're gonna see if his scheme works. It's in the Big 12, so I'm not high on the Big 12. It's it's okay. I like Baylor, I like Oklahoma State. It might be about it. I'll once we do the breakdown, we'll see. But like I said, I think he should win out. I like the move, but
well, I think it's a flip flop from Lincoln Riley. More offensive guy going over to a more defensive guy. So it addresses what they've been trying to address for years, which is the defense. So maybe the alumni just tired of having weak defense and all these old fancy quarterbacks and offenses. So I don't know how I mean, with the recruits that Lincoln Riley landed him, he may be able to do something with that offense. But if he can come in and apply pressure on the defense, then maybe we see a new Oklahoma team that we haven't seen no more. We get a under Oklahoma team or something like that.
But the talent on the defense, because Lincoln Riley did recruit no defensive talent.
Right. But I mean, like you say, scheme has a little bit to do with it too. So if scheme looks good, it might be a go. But these replacement quarterbacks, I like the fact that they get good stuff coming into these situations. He gets a team that went 11-2 last year, averaged 39 points on offense, gave up 25 points on defense, returning 5 on the offense, 5 on the defense. So both the 21 quarterback left the program, but Venables brings in transfer Dylan Gabriel from UCF. Guy's pretty decent. Gabriel, I seen him as a gamer at times, sometimes at UCF. He's willing to play ball out there. Yeah. And he's worked with their new offensive coordinator, Levy, when he was there as well. So they bring together an offensive coordinator and a quarterback that makes sense. At running back, they're returning second back Eric Gray. He leads this unit with redshirt freshman Marcus Major and 2 true freshmen for some depth. So he's getting some of that talent that Lincoln Riley left there at running back. Yep. With wide receiver, this loses several players from 2021, but brings in transfer L. Shelton from Arizona State, J.J. Hester from Mizzou, and he has some true freshmen and get back Theo Wise, who missed 2021. So that's kind of going to play by committee. We'll see who steps up at that position. Offensive line, they lose 2 good men, but add talented transfers from Cal, TCU, and O-line coach Bigboss returns another season. So they got to keep the same offensive line coach, which should help them keep a solid line. So you got a solid line, and you got a quarterback that knows the system. You got receivers by committee, and you got a running back who could really run the ball. So the offense doesn't look too bad going into this. Now, the defensive line, they lose the top 3 talents from 2021, but add transfers Jonah from Hawaii, Jeffrey from Tulane. This unit needs some tender love and care to bring it together to compete, especially, on the big levels. And that linebacker, a lot to rebuild after losing a few players. Venables moves a few pieces around and adds T.D. Roof, who is son to the defensive coordinator, Ted Roof. So you got another player, player, daddy coach situation over there. And I've seen that work a lot of times in college football, I guess, you probably know more about that coaching down there in Texas, but, having your son on the field, he sees your vision a little better and all that good stuff. He's able to get the players around him to buy in. So it makes a difference.
Makes a huge difference. Like, I coach my son's little league team, obviously. And even with kids I don't coach, kids' dads that I know work with their kids, I'll put them at a more important position before another kid. Because I know, like, his dad's going to take time to teach him what I tell him. I just got to go to his dad and be like, hey, work with so-and-so on X, Y, and Z. I know that dad's going to take 20 minutes. It's not even a lot of time, man. 20, 30 minutes. Hey, so let's go outside, and work on. Like when I take my kid outside to go work on the passing tree, it's 1,000 degrees outside. I'm not out there all day. Fucking 20 minutes. Run number 1. What's the number 1? Flat route. You need to know all this shit. Run number 2. All right. We only out there 15, 20 minutes. It's cool. But it's, that, like you said, that having a coach's kid with him, it almost ensures that he's going to put in that little extra time at home that all coaches ask all kids in the locker room, what I'm saying? Hey, when you go home, study your playbook, or hey, when you go home to this, every coach asks their sons or kids to do that. But when it's a coach's kid, that they're just going to do it. You know what I'm saying? It's almost, by the time my son gets in high school and I'm not coaching him, it's just going to be a thing that we do together. You know what I'm saying? Bring your film home, son. Let's go over it.
You know how y'all do it. You coach from the stands.
That's how we do. You know what I'm saying? That's exactly how we do. So instill this shit in them early. What's up, Razor? I see you, my guy. What's going down?
What up, though? Cash it. Cash is in the building.
I'm out, man.
What up with you, Razor? But
Go
I
ahead.
think that I think he can sustain a little bit of what they got going on at Oklahoma, but I think he does fall in the win category a little bit. Maybe 9-win season for them.
Yeah.
You know,
I
something
got to
like
look
that.
at the Big 12. I think talent alone, man, he can win the Big 12. I mean, if he can do what he's supposed to, because he's the defensive guy, right?
Yeah,
So
but I think it's too many transfers, man. Too many transfers. This your first year coaching, and you got all these players on the team that been coached by other coaches.
Who's the competition in the Big 12? Oh, excuse me, Oklahoma State.
Oklahoma State, Baylor.
Oh yeah, he's not. I'm sorry, I got way ahead of myself. This man is not winning the Big 12.
No,
he don't got a chance, man. That's the big. That should be the Big 12 championship right there. I look at schedule and sides, but Baylor, I love fucking Baylor.
They win money. They win money.
And the books
they had you.
The books just they still think Baylor, and or maybe the public still thinks like it's Baylor, like you know what I'm saying. So money's gonna come in on the other team.
Man, let me keep this moving along, man. I got a reservation on a whole nother show.
Hey, let's
way
keep going.
behind.
Let's
keep it going, man.
Real quick. Let's go.
We're gonna jump. I'm gonna speed it up a little bit too, but we're gonna jump to Dan Lanning over here replacing Cristobal at